Hey Montana Vista students, this is Miss Newberry, your music teacher. How are you all doing? I really miss you all. So I'm taking some time this morning to make you a new video so we can keep exploring music even though we're all stuck in our houses, away from our classroom, away from our instruments, but there's so much we can do. We can make our own instruments, we can make our own music. I have a question for you. I wonder if you've noticed, since everybody's been staying home, have you noticed different sounds outside? I've noticed different sounds outside my apartment. I hear a lot more birds. Can you hear that bird tweeting over there? Oh, they just stopped. But you might hear them in the background. I wonder if you hear any birds. Oh, there he goes again. I wonder if you hear any birds or animals around where you live. I hear them a lot more now that the world is a little more quiet. You might also hear my neighbors playing music. I hear that a lot. You might hear your neighbors playing music or different things that you never heard before. So I think that's kind of interesting. Oh, here's some little birds coming really close to me while I'm making my video. They're so cute. Oh, I'm going to have to give them some bird food or breadcrumbs later. So if you did my video last week, we made music with bottles. Do you remember that? I don't know if you can hear that because it's a very low note that you get when you blow into a bottle like that. If you're having trouble hearing it, you might try putting some headphones on. That might help. So let's listen to the bottle again. When we blow into a bottle like that, what we did is we made the bottle into a flute. Oh, can you hear a dog barking? I hear a dog barking in the background. We made our bottle into a flute. It's a special kind of flute called a vessel flute. So when you blow in a bottle like that, you have created a flute. How about that? You didn't know you had a flute in your house, but you did. Now, I was trying to think if there's anything else that we could use to make a flute that might be around our houses. And a few students had sent me comments that they were figuring out how to make sounds with straws, like drinking straws. So I looked for some straws, and I found out I had some colored straws in my house. Now, you might have some straws in your house too, so if you do, you could try this. My straws, well, they're kind of regular sized straws. I was sad because I really wanted to find those big straws that they used to use for bubble tea. Did you guys ever see those straws? They're like bigger than usual straws. They make really good flutes, but really all I could find in the store was regular straws. The one thing I like is that they're different colors though. Kind of cool. So I tried to figure out how to get different notes from my straws. So I thought, well, if I want to make a flute out of a straw, I have to figure out a way to blow into the flute to get a note. I found it was kind of hard because the straw is so small. I don't know if you can hear that. It's a tiny, soft little sound. Let's see. What if I plug up the end? Will I get a different sound? Ooh, I got a different sound. It's kind of hard, though, to get a sound because it's so small. You really have to focus your ear. So you might be better at it than me. You know, if you are interested in playing the flute when you go into band in 6th grade, this is what you're going to have to learn how to do. It's how to focus your ear to get a sound. So I would be curious to see what sounds you could figure out how to get from a straw. So I got a little sound from the straw. I wouldn't say it's a big sound. And then I thought, okay, well, how many different notes could I get with this straw? And I went to my piano and I tried to figure out how long to make my straws to get different notes. And it was kind of hard because the straws make a very high sound, so I had to go right up to the high notes of the piano. And I had to just cut a tiny little bit off at a time until I match the notes on the piano. Now, if you want to try that, you could use the online piano, see if you can match the notes on the online piano, or if you want the measurements that I found, I'll give them to you. I found out that I can get the note E if I make my straw 10 1/8 inches. So 10 1/8 inches gave me E. Your straws might be a little different, so you might have to adjust that. Now, I also measured it in centimeters. My E note was 25.5 centimeters. So I went online, I found an online ruler to measure my straws, and that's how I was able to measure them, because I didn't have a ruler in my house. My ruler's back in my classroom. So then I found out I could also get the note G. I made my blue straw G. G was 8 7/8 inches, or 22 centimeters. Then I made A. That's my green one. A is 7 7/8 inches, or 19.5 centimeters. And then I made B. Also, that's my shortest one. 7 1/8 inches, or 18 centimeters. So you could either make those by measuring them, or you could just compare your straws. Whoops, they're in the wrong order. You can compare your straws to the notes on the virtual piano and just trim off a little bit at a time until you get to the note that you want. So now I have 4 different notes. You might even be able to find more than 4 notes. You might be able to make a whole scale, which would be 8 notes. That would be awesome. But this is how far I got. So here's what my notes sound like. I don't know if you can actually hear that because it's so soft. I don't know if my computer microphone picks it up. I would love to hear, if you do this, what kind of sounds you can get, because maybe you can even get a better sound than me. Maybe you're a better flute player than me. So then I thought, well, this is kind of like an instrument called the panpipes. Have you ever seen the panpipes? They play them in South America, in Peru and Bolivia, and it's a bunch of pipes that play different notes, and they're attached together. So I thought, well, how can I attach my pipes together? I tried a hairband. The hairband didn't work too well. So then I found this very long, this is a long twisty tie. It was on some vegetables that I had. So I thought, well, maybe that will work. So let's see. Oh, you know what? One other thing I found out about these straws, they're almost like little mini boom whackers. You can get a note by hitting them. Although that is also a very soft note. So I did not find a way to get a loud sound out of these straws. But I have a feeling that some students might have already figured out how to get a louder sound out of these straws. So I just kind of took my twisty tie and I wrapped it around my straws just to hold them together so I could make a panpipe, which is a kind of flute. So this is not perfect and it's not beautiful, but it kind of holds them together. Now if I let it go, they kind of go all weird directions, so I hold on to it, and that way maybe I can make a little pattern with my notes. Let me see if I can make a pattern with my notes. Whoa, you know what? I had 2 of my notes in the wrong order. So let's see if I can fix that. There we go. I like to have them in order from biggest to smallest, which is also lowest to highest. There we go. Let's try that again. So if you try this experiment to make panpipes yourself, I would love to hear how it goes for you, and if you could get a louder sound than me. But the cool thing is that now we've made 2 different kinds of flutes. So we've learned a lot about flutes, even though we didn't even have a flute in our house. So we made a flute out of a bottle. We made a flute out of straws. I wonder if there's anything else in your house that you could make into a flute. Think about that, and please share your answers with me if you can through a comment or an email, or even if you get a really good idea and you make some good music, take a video and share it with me, because I would love to hear what you all can do with this. Thanks very much, Montana Vista students. I can't wait until we're all together again. Meanwhile, keep making music. Bye-bye.